Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Skyline Park in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity boys soccer contest between the visiting Flyers of Framingham High School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. And folks, we got ourselves a special treat here today, as I am not alone on the mic here today. Joining me for the first time this fall and for the first time as a Brookline High student himself, please welcome my color commentator for today, BHS freshman Sam Lowenstein. Sam, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Well, thanks for having me on, Jesse. Brookline here, looking to, at least for you, improving their luck and your kind of commentator luck, as the two games you've done, Brookline's tied 0-0 and 1-0, and then lost 1-0, so they'll hopefully be able to get some goals today.
Absolutely. It has been a rough start to the season for Brookline. 0-4-1, their current record. Like you mentioned, that scoreless tie against Cambridge Ranch and Latin School. Their one home game so far this season. This is just their second home game. They've had a lot of games on the road, and they've lost all of them so far, including that narrow loss to St. John's Prep that you just mentioned, 1-0. That happened this past Saturday. And so they're really looking to improve things. Framingham coming into this with a record of 2-2-2, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties. Both teams sort of trying to figure out their identities after graduating some large senior classes. Brookline graduated 12 seniors off of their 2023 squad. Framingham graduated 11. Sam, you're just coming out of the middle school game where there can be a lot of turnover depending on what classes graduate, even more so perhaps than high school. So what is your experience and what the key is for a team to really rediscover its identity after graduating a big key class?
When I was at Lawrence, both the basketball and the volleyball teams, once the grade above us, they graduated, we had to really build our identity up. For our volleyball team, we didn't have a single person who had played volleyball before the season besides me and one other kid. A bunch of the kids in the grade above us, they play volleyball on some of the high school teams, really good. And then we had to really establish our identity, and we were able to have a solid season. Then in basketball, a lot of the kids who played pretty well were above us, and we didn't have that many kids in my grade on the team before I joined. And then once we joined, we struggled because none of us had played basketball, and it was a tough road, but we were able to squeak out some close games here and there.
All right, and we'll see what Brookline is able to squeak out here in this one. Reminder, as always, if you end up enjoying this broadcast, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. We got a double feature coming up on Thursday, as I'll be covering both the JV and varsity boys soccer teams back-to-back at Weymouth. So that should be a fun one. And then this Saturday, we actually got a triple feature, believe it or not. Freshman boys and freshman girls both playing back-to-back at Newton South. And then later that same evening, the varsity girls team will be playing against the Newton South Lions. Be sure to stay tuned for all of that and more. Subscribing to the channel can help. And of course, anything you'd like to say, I encourage audience participation in the live chat. I know the Wi-Fi can be a little shaky sometimes out here at Skyline Park, but as always, I am recording this while live streaming it. So I can upload a version of this that won't have any video skipping, as that sometimes happens. So far, we've dropped about 16% of our frames. It can be a little rough out here at Skyline, especially as more and more fans show up, but should be good in the long run. And of course, as you can see from the bottom center of your screen, this broadcast, along with all of our regular season fall broadcasts for Brookline High this year, brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com. All that information you can find in the description section of the video down below. And you can also find a link to the official booster club of BHS Soccer, the Friends of BHS Soccer, their official Venmo account. A link to that in the description section. They cover all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, boys and girls, varsity, JV, and freshmen. So if you want to show them your support, you can find that link in the description section down below. Now, as you guys might recall from the last home game that I covered out here at Skyline, we're using the high-rise tripod that the Brookline High soccer teams were so generous as to let me use. It does give us a bit of a blind spot on the near sideline right at midfield. I'm trying to lower the camera as much as I possibly can so I can minimize that. And should be maybe a little bit, oops. Sorry, I'm just futzing around with this. There we go. That should be pretty decent, but we're still going to have a bit of a blind spot, as you can see here at the near sideline at the middle of the field. But it'll give us better visibility of the corners, especially as more fans show up. So that should be pretty decent. And soon we'll be getting this one underway. We're slated for a 4 p.m. start time. And so what we're going to do, we're going to run our intro video, and then we're going to see how much of the rosters we can get through before this game gets underway. Alongside Sam Lowenstein here at Skyline Park, Flyers versus Warriors, you are watching Brookline High Soccer. Deflecting across, corralled by Brookline, shot is in! Wally Lawrence throwing it into the box. Header from Lockwood, knocked down, kicked, it is in! Grady Ames! Can he deliver the winner here? Yes! All right, we are about to get this one started soon. Still got about 4 minutes. And so let's go through the rosters. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to get a roster for Framingham, so we're mostly just going to be narrating by jersey numbers. I do know some of the names from last year. I'm not sure if they're wearing the same jersey numbers. But from Framingham from last year, I know they've got a junior, number 0, Jack Maud. A senior, number 2, Asher Lynch. A senior, number 3, Simon Rosman. A senior captain, number 4, Jordan Cohen. A sophomore, number 9, Sam Pacheco. A senior captain, number 10, Jason Rappa. A junior, number 14, Malcolm Bowie. A junior, number 17, Kenny Correa. A junior, number 21, Brian Santos. A senior captain, number 26, Nico Harutunian. A senior, number 29, Oscar Ramirez Franco. And head coach Dan Avery. So I'm just going to operate off the assumption that they've got the same numbers and hope that's the case for what ones I can identify, but really we're going to be narrating a lot by jersey number on the Framingham side. Looking at the roster on the Brookline side, though, we've got the full cast here. Going in order of jersey number for Brookline, first off we have a sophomore, number 2, Sammy Treestman. Next, a senior captain, number 4, Jack Fitzgerald. A junior, number 6, Kai Putney. A junior, number 7, Jacob Friedman. A senior, number 8, Ben Speicher. A senior, number 9, Maury Shende Ruiz. A freshman, number 10, Danmarth Dovillier. A junior, number 11, Koya Nicoli. A junior, number 12, Ryan Goldberg. A sophomore, number 13, Julian Weil. A sophomore, number 14, Jeffrey Dong. A junior, number 15, Santi Sierra. A junior, number 16, Jad Torres. A senior captain, number 17, Grady Ames. A senior, number 18, Josh Bittner. A junior, number 19, Travis Applebaum. A senior, number 20, Aiden Kapusta. A senior captain, number 22, Nate Lockwood. A junior, number 24, Wally Lawrence. A junior, number 25, Jonah Lipman. A senior, number 26, Frederick Schreiber-Wachnick. A senior, number 27, Timur Tunkman. A freshman, number 30, Lars Peterson. A senior goalie, number 98, Luca Campbell. And a junior goalie, number 99, Alec Smagula. Head coach of the Brookline High boys soccer team is Kyle Bolu-Jones. So those are the rosters as we've got them for now. And fun fact, a couple of familiar names for you, Sam. I know from your time helping me cover some other sports last winter and spring that you probably recognize a couple of those names. Grady Ames, of course, big-time ice hockey player for Brookline High, and Alex Smagula, a captain of the boys' volleyball team, as well as the new starting goalie for the soccer team this fall. And then, of course, a couple of your classmates in that freshman class, as there are two varsity freshman players for Brookline this year, Lars Peterson and Danmarth Dovillier.
Well, yeah, for sure. Lars Peterson, Danmarth Dovillier, both great players. Lars in my homeroom class, and Danmarth, one really interesting about Dovillier is he actually doesn't go to Brookline High School. He goes to the Carroll School, but he has an agreement with the team where he can play for Brookline High School despite actually not going there right now.
Huh. That is a very interesting fun fact there. And Brookline's certainly glad to be able to have him on the team. He's been a big offensive presence for them so far this season. Like you mentioned earlier, I haven't yet seen this team score any goals, but I've seen them come close, and I've seen Dovillier be a big part of their offensive pushes. And so we'll see what we get here in this game against Framingham. Last year, these two teams played in Framingham in their season opener for the 2023 season on September 8th. Framingham came away with a 2-0 victory at home against Brookline in that one. Brookline ended up finishing the season with a stronger record of 11-6-1 to earn the 6th seed in the state tournament, while Framingham went 9-7-2 last year to finish with the 13th seed. Framingham lost in an upset to number 20 Ludlow in the round of 32 last year by a 3-0 final. Brookline barely escaped an upset loss in the round of 32 to Algonquin in a shootout victory. Then lost in an upset to number 11 Winchester in the round of 16 3-0. So both teams, like I said, graduating some large class, they're trying to, re-find themselves here and get back into that playoff picture.
For sure, Jesse, and I think Brookline, they're going to have to work on their striking ability because their defense, it's played pretty well this season. They had that 1-4-0 loss earlier this season, but their defense has played pretty well. The goalieing from Spagula and Luca Campbell's been strong. They just need to finish.
All right, we'll see how things go. No scoreboard clock here, but I think about 40 or 45 minutes on the clock for the first half. Brookline setting up to get the opening possession. That is number 7, Jacob Friedman, on the ball at midfield. Getting ready to start us off, and here we go. Warriors versus Flyers. Pass is rolled back to number 22, Nate Lockwood. He passes it to the outside to number 24, Wally Lawrence. Pass back to, I believe, number 19, Travis Applebaum. Slides back to number 25, Jonah Lippman. Back and forth between Lippman and Applebaum. Lippman kicks it upfield off of a head and disrupted by the Flyers, bouncing through the middle and collected by Framingham. Pass goes to the back line. Number 3 passes to the outside to, I think, number 25, slides it up the line. A pass to the middle broken up by number 17, Grady Ames. But now stolen back on the pass by Framingham. They slide it back. Number 3 once again slides it across to 15. 15 goes near side into our blind spot. Number 11 bringing the ball across midfield. Up the sideline, being chased by Friedman. Friedman knocks it out of bounds.
Friedman able to close it out there, and it looks like Brookline, they're trying to play more of a direct attack. Framingham playing a little bit more out of the back, but Framingham's had a little bit more success as of so far.
Throw in, and a scrum for the ball knocked loose, and Friedman takes it. Kick is blocked by number 10, out of bounds, Brookline ball.
Again, continuing Brookline direct as Friedman booting that one up.
Now a throw in from Speicher to Friedman. Kicks to the middle, dangerous, intercepted by number 22. Number 22 cutting across, looking for a pass to the far side to number 7. Bringing it up, matched up against Applebaum. Trying to fake him out. Applebaum in pursuit knocks it out of bounds, and it stays Framingham ball.
And they're Framingham.
No, it's Brookline ball. My mistake.
Well, Framingham trying to work it from side to side, possibly get a cross in, doesn't work out.
Good defense by Applebaum there as he takes the pass back from Lawrence after the throw-in. Now boots it upfield off the head of a center back. Now off the head of, I believe, Ames. Goes over far side to Lawrence. Lawrence passes it up the line, trying to get to number 11, Koya Nicoli, knocked out of bounds by the Framingham defense.
Now Brookline starting to get their offense going here with the straightaway attack.
Lawrence surveying his options on the throw-in. For Nicoli, taps back, and number 10 intercepts, pass far side to 7, now to the middle, back to 22. Again, they try and go cross, and disrupted by Speicher, but recovered by 15, sends it back up that near side to 11, keeps it in bounds, cuts towards the middle, and his pass slightly disrupted, but Framingham keeps control of it as 22 now passes it back to 3. Out far side, 7 again. Trying a leading pass down the far side, kept in bounds, an attempted crosser knocked away by Lockwood, but passed back for 22, blocked, but gets passed through to 10, 10 cutting around, looking, and it's stolen away at the last second by Grady Ames. Recovered though, Framingham keeping on the attack as 4 pops one in the air, deflects off a shoulder, booted straight up by Ames, off the head of number 14, Jeffrey Dong, but it's stolen away now by 5, pass outside to 7. 7 turns around looking, passes it back. Number 26, I believe that is, passes it up the line. Working it forward, a give and go for 22. Pass out to 10, who's trying to go near side, broken up. Great play by Ben Speicher chasing that one down.
Well, Framingham, their side-to-side offense has worked really well. They've been able to go back and forth, then get in a box. They've got a couple near chances so far.
And they're trying to get another near chance here. Number 11 controlling it. Tries one into the box, knocked away by Littman, but right back to 19. Launches a shot, and it's chased down by Alex Magula for the save.
And Brookline, they're playing their back players. They've been playing really far back, doing a good job coming up against the Framingham strikers, forcing a long shot there.
Speicher takes the roll in from Smagula, passes forward to Dong. Dong sends it back to Jack Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald across to Littman. Littman, dangerous pass back to Smagula as 10 in pursuit, sends it, misses Littman, 22 with a chance, trying to juke, might be trying to do too much as the defense recovers. He passes it back to 5, 5 across to 11. 11 stood up by Speicher, and the loose ball recovered by Lockwood. Pass up to Nicoli, knocked loose by 5, and recovered by 3. Pass back to 26, up the far side to 7, slides it up to 5. 5, turning around, tries a pass, back gets to 22. 22, surveying, passes back to 26.
Framingham, they've been able to get a lot of skill moves here so far, a lot of trickery against Brookline.
And the goalie, I believe number 0, sends it out near side to 15. 15 taps one up to 11 on our blind spot. Now crossing midfield and lost control of it himself, out of bounds.
And Brookline just not doing too much. They've been solid on defense. Framingham, again, they've been able to get it around the field, doing pretty well, but occasionally doing a little bit too much with the ball.
This one tapped forward by Friedman, recovered by 4. His kick blocked and out of bounds off the block by Dong. Quick throw in into our blind spot. Battle for the ball, and we got a high kick call against Framingham. Free kick for Brookline.
Well, this sets up a dangerous opportunity. Maybe get it in to the left side of the field, get it cross field.
Speicher launches that free kick out to the left side, like you said, headed away by the Framingham defense, and that's going to bounce out of bounds. It'll be a Brookline throw-in.
And you got to think that play, even though it didn't result in much, it gets Brookline in a better position, and they do well with the free kick.
Brookline trying to take advantage of this positioning. Lawrence throws it in for Ames. Knocked out the back end, and this could be a real chance for Brookline to take advantage as they now have a corner kick, the first of the day.
Again, Brookline not doing too much, slowly but surely making their way up the field. They've been the better team in these last couple minutes, and now they got a good opportunity off a corner.
Like you said, Brookline, rather than making their way downtown, they're making their way down the field for a chance to score. I apologize for nothing on that bad pun. Looks like Speicher setting up for the corner. It comes in low, deflects, and it's going to be chased down by Framingham's number 22, past the outside to 11, as they're going to try and flip the field here. Across midfield, a pass to the middle to 10. 10 sending it to the far side, but chased down by Applebaum, who knocks it out of bounds.
Framingham trying to work the counterattack quickly, getting upfield. They started working it on the left side, and then when Brookline tried to go to the left with their defenders, and they tried to flip fields. Didn't work out.
Framingham trying to pass through the middle. That one misses its target, intercepted by Nicoli. His pass deflects and spins down to the near side where it's taken by number 11. 11 covered by Friedman. Looking for somewhere to go, taps it up to 15. 15 tries a crosser into the box. Over the outstretched hands of Smagula, still in play. 5, lost it. Now 7 tries to touch it back, knocked away by Dong. Pass out to 15 now as they're trying to set up another attack. 11, looking, taps back to 15. Back up to 11, gets around Speicher. Now Fitzgerald coming to cover him. Disrupts it, goes out of bounds. Brookline ball, great disruption by Fitzgerald.
Well, that play, Alex Bagula nearly giving up a crazy goal. He makes a great play on it. Can't tell if he got the ball or not. Framingham.
Oh, he did not.
He did not, but Framingham has been so dangerous so far with the crosses.
Throw in deflected, but it's taken by Dong, but double teamed, and 22 takes it away. Spins, looking, pass up to 10. 10 turns around, trying to fight his way through, but it's stolen away by the double team. Fitzgerald sends it up for Ames, and off the disruption, recovered, kicked forward by Dong, but taken by Framingham as they work around midfield. Quick kick up, disrupted by Littman. Applebaum trying to recover and keep it in bounds, but it's kicked up the line out of bounds.
And this game has been really back and forth. Framingham started on the right foot, then Brookline had a couple chances. Now it looks like Framingham, with possession of the ball, has been able to take control and get it in the final third.
Crosser blocked up and headed. Now Framingham setting it up the line, and it's an offsides call. As you saw, about 5 or 6 Brookline players raise their hand going up, up, up. Free kick now for the Warriors. Looks like it'll be Applebaum.
Now Brookline, it looks like they're sending a lot of guys deep. They're going to try to flip the field here.
Kick up the line to Ames. Ames passes back to Applebaum, who pops it straight up in the air near midfield. And Wynn carried that a bit, went off the head of 15, taken by 11. 11 dribbling. Pass off the head of Applebaum. No flyers were near that one. It goes off the hand, off a strange ricochet, off the hand of number 5. Free kick for Brookline.
Off the hand of number 5, and a couple unlucky plays now for Framingham. The offsides, the foul for the high kick earlier in the game, and now the handball.
Yeah, on the one hand, Brookline is getting the majority of the free kicks. On the other hand, you know, Brookline not getting any of those chances on the opposing end, as this one is kicked into the opposing end, deflected back off the head of 5. and bounces out of bounds.
Well, Framingham, just their defense, their back line has been really strong against Brookline. Even if Brookline's able to get a little bit deeper, Framingham hasn't really given up anything.
We got a couple of subs checking into the game. Looks like number 10, Danmarth Dovillier, and number 15, Santi Sierra checking in for the Warriors. As this one kicked up in the air and off a bounce, it's going to be collected by the Framingham keeper. Chucks this one up to number 11. 11 touches it forward to 15, back to 11. Pass to the middle, finds 19, who's checked in for the Flyers. Pass back to 5. 5, surrounded by Warriors, but manages to pass it to the back line to number 4. Now up near side to number 22. Pass back to 4. Now his pass across to 3, up the middle, 22. Now up to 10. Now to the near side. 11 passes to the middle, 22 trying to break through. Quick pass, 19. Shot was blocked, and it's cleared out by Fitzgerald. Upfield, Lawrence taps it to himself. Lawrence trying to flip the field, kicks it forward for Dovillier. Dovillier out to the races. Dovillier couldn't get around that last defender, number 4, and it's cleared out by 15. But it's recovered. Brookline going to try the rush again. Lawrence fakes, trying to gain the edge, sends in a crosser, deflects back. Oh, a chance. Oh, aims a shot, saved! Huge save by number 0 for Framingham as Brookline got their best offensive rush of the game so far.
Wally Lawrence looking dangerous on the left side with a rainbow flick there.
Number 11 cutting to the middle as he brings it back to the Brookline side, sends it up to number 10. 10 cutting around, pass back, 22. Pops it over to the far side, and 7 keeps it in bounds. Battle for the ball. Sierra trying to knock it loose. A pass to the middle is knocked away by Ames. Kicked back by 26 over to 10. 10 out to 15. 15 to the middle, knocked away by Littman. Now Sierra up to Dong. Dong, far side. Lawrence wasn't ready for it, and it rolls out of bounds.
It's a small miscommunication there for Brookline, but a great chance for Ames on the edge of the box. That's definitely positive. That's the first real shot for Brookline this game, and even though Framingham has played a little bit better, maybe 60-40, Brookline stayed in it.
Throw in for Framingham. Tapped forward by 10. Headed away by Fitzgerald. Applebaum does keep it in bounds. It's knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Brookline ball as number 5 knocked that one out.
Now Brookline, they're keeping their players around the throw-in spot, not bringing too many people too far up, although they do go long here.
Go long, aiming for Ames. Ames breaking through. Ames trying to keep control. Stops, looks, stood up by 26. Now trying to fight his way through, and it's knocked away as the reinforcements came for the Flyers. 22 trying to dribble, pass it back. 15, 15 over to 11. 11 sends a leading pass for 10. 10. Near side corner, knocked out of bounds. Brookline ball. Brookline ball.
Well, Brookline with the likes of Wally Lawrence, they've looked really good on that left side. They've created a couple chances, near chances, then that shot from Ames, and that's been their spot so far today.
Now a substitution coming in for Brookline. Number 18, Josh Bittner, takes the throw in, battling with 15, and 15 boxes him out and just lets it roll out of bounds.
It looks like a free kick.
Oh.
Put the ball down, or...
Oh, are they? Oh, they must be saying Bittner went over the back, and they did call a foul. Good catch, Sam.
Yep, a foul call, free kick in a potentially dangerous area for Framingham. Long free kick. They could cross this one in.
Number 4 setting up to kick this one. Like you said, a pretty good distance for a potential crosser as that one flies into the box. And Smagula dropped it as he lost his footing. Might have been knocked over by another player. 26 recovers it after the clear. 7 passes it up for 5. And it's knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be a Framingham throw-in deep in the Brookline end.
Spagula diving for it, fell over a man.
That time with the jumping catch clean.
Alex Spagula, he's made some good saves. He's had a good presence in net so far today.
Punts this one. Off ahead. Oop.
As off the head, it curves out of bounds.
And that throw in bounces a long way off the head of a defender, chased down by Dauvilliers, and tried to stop and juke, but it's lost out of bounds, but it was lost out the back end. This is going to be a Brookline corner kick.
Dauvilliers trying to move around the Framingham defense on that left side, trying to curl it possibly into the box, maybe get another man coming back, but regardless, a corner kick.
This kick flies in high this time, and it's caught out of the air by number 0 as he quickly chucks it upfield to number 7. Past 10, back outside to 7, and it rolls out of bounds. Quick throw in for Brookline, and it's taken off the deflection by Ames, sending a leading pass. I think that might be a little too far, but Lawrence picking up speed. Lawrence sends in a crosser, and off the hop, it's taken by the keeper.
Well, contact in the box. Wally Lawrence is down. Referee says he got the ball. Brookline pled for a penalty.
Number 15 now controlling it. Lawrence back on his feet as this pass to Ames disrupted by number 4. Play is continuing as 4's pass intercepted by Fitzgerald, tapped up to Speicher, now up to Bittner. Bittner looking around. Pass over to Lockwood. Lockwood over to Applebaum. Applebaum pass up the middle for Bittner, but it gets away from him. Oh, but he lost his footing after contact with Framingham's number 19 and gets the foul call.
They just get tangled up, but Bittner just a little bit ahead of him, able to get the foul here, and Brookline saying their guys deep now.
Quick free kick from Speicher, blocked by 7, but recovered by Lockwood, sends it back to Applebaum at midfield, kicks it up the middle for Ames. Ames collects it, and he passes it back to Speicher. Speicher pops it out far side, headed down by the Framingham defense. It rolls out of bounds. It'll be a Brookline throw-in.
Brookline's definitely kept up the tempo in these last few minutes. Framingham has been really trying to go on the quick counterattacks, catching Brookline napping.
That one deflected by Bittner, stays in the Framingham end. Is chased down by number 15. Passes it over to the center back, number 4. Now across to number 3. Up the far side. And it's out of bounds. Lost track of his positioning on the field, and Brookline gets the throw-in. And they rush that throw-in up for Dauvilliers. Dauvilliers cutting in. Crosser back, and oh, it flies the wrong way off the foot of Ames. Or are they going to say, they say corner, deflected by the...
Looks like it took a small
no.
deflection.
Nope, I was mistaken. I thought I saw a signal for a corner, but they were signaling to the box. That's my mistake.
Deflected off of the Framingham guy into Ames's foot.
Yeah, it reflected off of Ames's foot last, and so it'll be a goal kick.
But a dangerous situation. Dan-Marc Dauvilliers playing it back to Grady Ames, and he almost got it.
Nice idea, just slightly off from where they wanted it to be. Off the goal kick, a scrum for the ball. Ames keeps control.
Framingham pled for a handball.
Ames rushing in. Crosser, knocked away by 26. Last play, they tried to go from Dauvilliers to Ames. This time they try from Ames to Dauvilliers, and both times Framingham knocks it away, but this time it will be a corner.
Dauvilliers went down in the box, a little bit of contact. They said he got the ball.
Speicher setting up send in another corner. Oh, he's passing it back to Applebaum. Applebaum now pops it into the box. It's too high over the head of Dauvilliers, out of bounds. That'll be a goal kick.
The positioning of Dauvilliers setting up for right next to the defenders, and Applebaum just a little bit too much on it. But Brookline has definitely looked better. They've looked like the better team in the last 5, 10 or so minutes. Way more time in the final third than Framingham has.
And Sam, you weren't there for that St. John's game. We had sort of a similar thing where on Saturday, St. John's had a lot of the early momentum in the opening minutes, but Brookline later in the first half was able to generate some offensive momentum of their own. So they can be a little slow out of the gate, but once they find their rhythm, they can be potentially dangerous. As they control the ball here, Lawrence sends it, misses, Bittner out of bounds. Framingham ball.
It's a small mistake from Lawrence to Bittner. Just a small blip here for Brookline.
Throw in for 11. Taps it for 19. Back to 11 through our blind spot. Scrum for the ball. Goes up the line. 11. Heading down the near sideline and disrupted at the last by Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald got the favorable deflection off of the offensive player. That's going to be a goal kick for Brookline.
Looked like Fitzgerald hit it off of number 11. It hit off of number 11 out of bounds. And Brookline's definitely got the majority of deflections, fouls, little things like that have definitely gone their way today.
Got a couple subs checking in for Brookline. Among them, Jacob Friedman back into the game as Dauvilliers and Sierra sub out. Long kick, deflects off ahead. And number 3 whiffed on that clear kick. Friedman was trying to touch it forward, but couldn't control it as it goes out of bounds. That other sub that came in for Brookline was number 6, Kai Putney. Throw in, and it's stolen away by Lawrence, and hit from behind by 5, and that'll draw a foul call. Free kick for Brookline from an interesting spot, Sam.
This is a pretty good spot for Brookline. They can play it into the box, but a little bit more of a direct opportunity. If they really wanted to, they could blast it, see where the bounce goes.
Well, let's see what Lawrence is going to do with this free kick here. Sends it in low, and it's blocked immediately. Oh, but the pass misses.
And but a whistle blown.
What are they calling offsides on Brook? Oh, I'm not sure what I saw there,
not sure
but
what that was, but
either way, Framingham ball. They work it up the far side, knocked out of bounds by Applebaum, and a quick throw in from the Flyers. Booted forward by Lawrence, but nobody there to take it for. Almost lost control of it there. He pops it up in the air. Ooh, hard collision in the air. And we got a Framingham player down briefly, but he gets back up. Out of the scrum, the pass was briefly intercepted by Applebaum, blocked, but then recovered by Lippman. Sends it back to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald out near side Speicher. Speicher fakes round 1, taps it over to Lockwood. Lockwood sends it forward to Putney. Putney up to Speicher. Speicher walled by the defense, taken away by 26. 26. Dribbling out to the far side, knocked away by Lippman, but recovered by Framingham. Still trying to work it up the far sideline, but they lose control of it. Out of bounds, Brookline ball.
This game's been a really physical game between Brookline and Framingham. Brookline goes quickly here.
A long throw-in knocked back by the Framingham defense, recovered by Putney. Knocked out of bounds.
As I was saying, multiple fouls against Framingham, a lot of bang-bang plays, and a lot of contact so far.
Substitution coming in for Framingham, as this will be a Flyers throw-in. Throw in back, kicked up the far side. Now a pass back to 4. Now out to 15. Bittner in pursuit. Bittner knocked it loose, but it's recovered by 11. 11 dribbling against that forward pressure from Bittner and Friedman. Kicks it, misses, 22. And upfield, it's taken by Lippman, passed back to Smagula. Brookline trying to get set up here with possession as Fitzgerald sends it back to Smagula again. And out to Lippman. Littman boots it across midfield, deflects off the foot of Ames, and Ames goes to get it himself, taps it forward. Rushing up with it is Lawrence. Lawrence stops, cutting across, trying to fight his way through. Surrounded, pass back, Ames, tap. The extra pass to Putney, launches it high.
Putney launches that one high. And Brookline, when they've been pressing, they've had so much more success in this second half of the first half. Early on, they were playing pretty far back. Framingham was able to do whatever they want and get deep, but now Brookline's just been all over them in their own half.
And once again on that offensive push, it was Lawrence and Ames providing the spark. You mentioned it earlier, Sam, just how big they've been for the Brookline offense.
Here it is again, a header in Framingham's old half for Brookline.
And that one knocked loose by Lockwood, kicked upfield by Bittner. Number 4 controls it, taps it away to 26. 26 out far side. And now this pass disrupted by Lockwood, taken by Littman. Littman's pass off the mark, taken back by the Flyers. Pass through to the middle, gets to number 5. 5 racing up with it, cut off by number 12, Ryan Goldberg, who's checked in. Applebaum kicks it, gets up to Lawrence. Lawrence looking, knocked away. Couldn't juke out the defender there, and Framingham takes it back, but a nice disruption again by Lockwood in the midfield, as this one's kicked upfield by, I believe, Ames. Lost control, 26, almost lost control of it, but does get it, passes out far side. Now kicked up the line for 5. Getting tangled up and lost out of bounds. Brookline ball, and again, they're looking for a rushed throw-in.
It's a work for Framingham early on. Now it's working for Brookline.
Ames dribbling with it, taken away by 19. But the kick from the goalie bounces right to Goldberg. He tries to tap it up for Friedman, but knocked away at the last by 4. Framingham dealing with the press again, and this time I think they might have called a foul on Lawrence. Too physical, trying to block number 20 that time. And it'll be a free kick.
A little bit too physical there. But what's worked for Brookline this game, what's worked for all the teams, is the more press, the more direct, the more just aggression and attack. That's correlated to how well they played.
Number 22 passes it over to 5 as Framingham crosses midfield. Now down the far side, a crosser blocked by Littman. Number 22 was cutting for that one. Big play by Littman to stop what could have been a dangerous crosser.
And he just jumped in front of them, in front of that one. That would have been a wide open chance for number 22 of Framingham. He could have blasted that one on goal, a clutch play.
Number 4. Pass across to 26. That one went off the head of a Brookline player.
Off Wally Lawrence.
Indeed. Out of the scrum, Framingham does come away with it, but 22 getting disrupted by the double team. Very physical scrum for the box. Coming out with it, I believe, is Putney. Putney looking for his options, passes for Goldberg. Goldberg running up with it, stops, looks, can't look for too long. The defense comes from behind. Turning around, passing across, misses Lockwood, and it's taken away by 22. 22 pops it up in the air for number 5. 5 takes off, gets past Fitzgerald, but Fitzgerald, a nice slide tackle to recover and knock it out of bounds.
Fitzgerald just gets in there on the inside part of the foot, able to get the ball. Number 5 thought that was a foul. He doesn't get it, and it's also Brookline throw.
Another favorable deflection instigated by the defense of Jack Fitzgerald. Meanwhile, for Brookline, number 14, Jeffrey Dong back into the game, replacing Wally Lawrence. This throw in off the head of 15 over to 22. Pass up to 5. Across for 10, disrupted again by Putney, who's been everywhere since checking into this game. Pass up, far side for Lockwood. Back to Applebaum. Applebaum surrounded, taken away by 21. Pops it up in the air for 10. Lockwood getting physical, fighting to take the ball back. Passes it back to Littman. And across to Fitzgerald as Brookline resets. Fitzgerald signaling, kicks it upfield. Blocked down by 15. 15 dribbling through the middle. Swooping in for it is Ames, but 20 comes away with it. 20's pass blocked by Goldberg. Goldberg taps it back. Lockwood lost control of it, taken away by 19. Tap disrupted by Lockwood again. Out of the midfield, it's taken by Friedman. Friedman pass across. Putney does control it. Putney dribbling up, tries to send a leader, but Ames wasn't ready for it. Kicked away by 26 up to 22. Double team knocks the ball loose again. More of that physical pressure you were talking about, Sam, but this time they call him for the foul.
And number 22, hopefully he's okay as he's down. Brookline player, that looks like it's number 7, Jacob Friedman. He is on one knee.
I think Friedman is redoing his laces.
Well, hopefully number 22 is all right.
Yeah. It's always so tough because soccer has so woven into the strategy of the game to sell an injury, as we see 22 gets up and looks fine. And so it's like you express concern for the kids, but at the same time you're like, this could literally be nothing and the guy could get back up and keep walking around.
I feel like the more they roll, Jesse, I feel like the more they roll around, that's the more they're selling it. People that are really hurt, they're just going to stand there. They're not going to roll around like Neymar does.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right on that, Sam, because if you were really hurt, you wouldn't roll around because that would just intensify the pain.
For sure.
But in the meantime, thankfully, number 22 is okay as he passes it out to the far side to 21. Pass to the middle. And that one knocked out of bounds. Because that's always my philosophy. No matter how you feel about the strategy of selling fouls, which all the teams do, but no matter how you feel about it, to me, it's always good news when it turns out a kid's not hurt.
For sure. And also, I feel like you see it more in boys soccer than girls soccer.
That is true.
For sure, some in girls soccer.
They are starting to do it more in girls soccer, I will say. But to me, I look on the positive and I say that just means that the fans are respecting the girls' game more, and they feel like they can engage in more of the foul selling that occurs more on the men's side of the game.
For sure.
That one knocked out of bounds, and I think Framingham's going to have their first corner kick of the season. Or not of the season, boof.
Of the game.
Of the game.
But quietly, Framingham, they've just slowly worked their way up with throw-ins on their right side, Brookline's left. And now they got a corner. Looks like they're going to have one guy sort of short. Now he's coming away, so no short corners. Everybody in the box.
This one flies in line drive, knocked away. Fitzgerald disrupted that one, but another crosser into the box. 10 couldn't get a head on it. A couple of deflections back and forth. Still in the box. Bouncing around. Cleared out of the box by Brookline. And off a weird pinball ricochet goes out of bounds. It'll be Framingham ball.
Framingham, they've worked their way back into the game. Up Framingham now going up tempo. A whistle blows, but...
Oh, subs coming in. They tried to throw it in before the subs could come in.
Both of these teams have had a lot of success with the up-tempo throws, catching the other team off balance. This game, I feel like it's been pretty evenly played. Over the grand scheme of things, Framingham started out better than Brookline, really took control, played better for a long time.
But now Brookline trying to counter, but Lawrence disrupted from behind by 5. But now Lawrence takes it right back past the outside. This is Dong. Dong charging into the box, looking around, tries to slide a pass through, gets it through. Goldberg the shot, and it was going to roll wide, but it's scooped up by the keeper.
In Brooklyn, they've been able to get shots. They just haven't had a lot of quality shots, a lot of shots from outside the box for the Warriors.
Number 11's pass broken up. Pushed forward again, but now kicked back by Fitzgerald. Goes up, misses. Dauvilliers recovered by 15. Pass up to 11. 11 taps one over to 19. 19 pass gets to 15. Speicher knocks it loose, gets it up to Dong. Dong racing across midfield. Sends one up the near side. Dauvilliers. And they blow the whistle for the offsides.
And you could see number 4 pleading for an offsides even before it was called. Looked like Dan Dauvilliers, just a bit offsides there.
I mean, that's typically how you call for it. You step up, you make sure the offensive player is past you, and then you throw your hand up, and it helps get the official attention. Pass Forward deflects to the outside, now sent forward for 19. 19 chasing it down, couldn't keep it in bounds. It'll be a Brookline throw-in.
As Brookline, when they've been getting attacks, it's been really quick attacks. They've been disrupting Framingham a lot at midfield with their high press, and they've been able to turn it into the final third really quickly.
Another sub coming in for Brookline, number 11, Koya Nicoli back in the game. As that one deflects off ahead out of bounds. Brookline ball still. Lawrence throws it in for Nicoli. Nicoli taps it upfield too far for Dovillier, and it's going to be taken off a couple hops by the keeper.
So now Framingham can reset. Only one player behind the midfield stripe.
Off the throw-in, off the head of Applebaum, and that's out of bounds.
Out of bounds now for Framingham, and they've been playing pretty conservative. They've been trying to get back and forth, not shooting a lot of guys up really far.
Number 4 steps up with it. Pass up the middle for 31, who's checked in for the Flyers, and he gets tangled up with number 4 and gets the foul. Free kick for Framingham, and they rush it.
Now the call's starting to go Framingham's way just a little bit.
22 near side to 11. 11 pass back to 22. 22 spins, dribbles towards the middle, turns back around the other way. Pass up the near sideline for 5, tries a crosser into the box, sliding through, and just barely chased down. Attempted touch pass, disrupted from behind. Big defensive disruption there for Brookline by Nicoli at the last second. As now Framingham trying to boot it back the other way, headed down and off the deflection. It's controlled now by Nicoli. Or Nicoli leaves it for Goldberg, actually. Goldberg passing it up for Ames. Ames stops, looks, pass back, knocked away by 19, up to 11. 11.
Just dribbling his way by.
Now sends a pass across. 22 tries a shot just wide.
And that one almost curled into the right side post. Just goes a little bit wide. It had curling action though.
And we got another sub checking in for Brookline. Grady Ames now checking out as Nate Lockwood back into the game. Again, no scoreboard clock, so we can't tell you how much time we got left in the first half.
It's whistle blown.
For what can only be described as a reason.
Maybe looks like they went a little bit too early. Or somebody on the field. They had to redo it. Now Brookline plays out of the back.
And Fitzgerald boots this one. Bouncing along off the head of 4 for 15. Pass gets up to 19. And 19 sends it up to 11. 11 surrounded. Tried to dribble through, but Lockwood swoops in and takes it. Pass for Nicoli. His pass deflected, taken away by 5. Up to 22. Sending out for 11. And 31 recovers, pass out to 19. 19 battling with Speicher. Knocked loose, 19 recovers into the box. His pass blocked by Fitzgerald. Recovered by 11. Dribbling out of the near side corner, knocked out of bounds by Goldberg, and it's going to be a Framingham corner kick.
In these last couple minutes, it seemed pretty even between the two teams. Framingham have definitely been given a little bit more leeway in around midfield, and that's been a big factor for them. Framingham have struggled when Brookline have pressed up. Now Brookline's not been doing a lot of pressing. Framingham gets a corner.
This one flies into the box, deflects out of the box, recovered by 26, and they are going to call the foul as Fitzgerald pushed him there.
And started some of the fouls going Framingham's way. Whistle blown.
I was trying to see if that was...
It was like halftime. Everyone's
either
going over to the sidelines.
Yeah, it's either halftime or a timeout.
Or timeout.
Either way, With a stop in the action, I'm going to remind the folks at home that this broadcast is brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com, and all that information in the description section down below. And
It's like
yeah,
Framingham's coming back out.
I'm having trouble telling if that's a timeout or if it's halftime, but it looks like it's really tough to tell.
Difficult to
This is what
determine with no clock.
Yeah, there's no scoreboard clock here. And I mean, even if there was, it would freeze at 2 minutes left for stoppage time. But I think this might be halftime.
It looks like halftime to me. Framingham
Yeah,
is coming out. Brookline's still on the side.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be happening if it was timeout.
Yeah, no, I think Framingham, it looks like they're doing some like kind of halftime warm-up or something over by the goal. So we're going to say that it's halftime, no score at the half, a rather back-and-forth contest. Sam, before we read out do some of our readouts and go to break, what are your thoughts on the first half?
I think it was a strong first half for Brookline, especially in the middle of the first half when Brookline was pressing up. They were able to turn it, quickly countering. I think the combo of Ames and Danmouth, Dauvilliers, they were really good. I think overall the attack for Brookline, they were able to get a bunch of pretty good shots off. I think they got a shot in the second half. I think for Framingham, when they were doing well, it was because they had a lot of open space in the middle of the field. They had number 11 in specific. He would just dribble it down himself into the box with nobody stopping him, and they would go side to side, causing a lot of havoc for Brookline. So I think Brookline's key is to stopping Framingham's offense in the bud. I think they got a shot.
All right. Scoreless at half. I already mentioned our local sponsor, Esch Dental. Check out their information in the description section. You can also find down in the description section some other helpful links, including a link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, which supports all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, boys and girls, varsity, JV, and freshmen. So if you feel like supporting the program, you can send money that way through their Venmo account. And then also down in the description section, you'll see a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Food Pantry. The Brookline Food Pantry provides groceries to Brookline residents in need of food assistance. The food pantry has been serving an average of 650 households each week, and they are always looking for more people willing to lend a hand, whether through monetary donations, direct food donations, or volunteers in the pantry. Food donations can be made at United Parish at 210 Harvard Street in Coolidge Corner on Wednesdays and Fridays from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monetary donations can be made online at the Food Pantry's website, brooklinefoodpantry.org. Go online or call 617-800-5339 for more information about how you can volunteer with the pantry and help feed your community. Once again, that's brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. And all those links and phone numbers are down in the description section down below. But for now, it is halftime. We're going to mute the mics and go to break, but we will be right back with the second half of this ball game. For Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan alongside Sam Lowenstein here at Skyline Park in Brookline, Massachusetts, here to bring you the second half of today's high school varsity boys soccer contest between the visiting Framingham Flyers and the hosting Brookline Warriors. No score through the first half, and now a second half. We'll see what things do here as Framingham gets the opening possession. Pass goes back to number 4, kicks it across midfield, collected by Jonah Littman for Brookline. Passes it up to Jeffrey Dong up the middle. He swings it out to the far side to Ben Speicher. Speicher blocked briefly by 11, but good effort to recover it, get it up the field. Knocked loose by Framingham, but 15 couldn't control it. It goes out of bounds, Brookline ball. Throw in, Brookline wasting no time to go up the far side, looking for Jacob Friedman. Number 4 boots it out of bounds, and it will stay Brookline ball.
Well, it was a really even first half between Brookline and Framingham. A major key for Brookline was pressing up around midfield. When Framingham was able to control the center of the field, that got him into the final third. They played dangerous, but Brookline, when they caught on the counterattacks, they were able to get him from midfield well.
And a battle into the box disrupted by the defense. And they say he got ball, so no call as it's knocked out of bounds. It'll be Framingham ball this time.
But a really even first half, and so far, it's looked relatively even for Brookline and Framingham in the second. Framingham, a little bit of an edge so far.
Flyers throw it in. I believe that's number 22 passing it back, and now a kick upfield, disrupted by Jack Fitzgerald. And they blow a whistle. I think they might have called a handball on Fitzgerald, and Framingham trying to rush the free kick as 19 pass it up to 11, going up the far side. 11 pass up to 19. 19's pass deflects a couple of times. Still scrumming for it. Flyers come out with it, racing up with it. Couldn't stay with it as Speicher disrupts and clears it out of bounds on the far side.
And Speicher doing a good job to close out there on the left side for Framingham, giving him no chance to play it back.
Crosser flies into the box, deflects back, and 26 passes it near side to 10. 10 dribbling through, goes across to 22. 22 slides it back to 3, who boots it out to the far side. 11 cuts around a defender, trying to weave his way through. Pass up, finds his man, shot blocked by Fitzgerald. And Applebaum, after a couple deflections, keeps it out of the box. And it rolls out of bounds, Framingham ball.
Jeffrey Dong was going for it, he couldn't get to it.
Number 22 takes the throw in, battling against Applebaum. Applebaum too physical, and this is going to be a free kick for Framingham. Interesting angle to shoot, to kick from Sam. Shot might be difficult, but not impossible if they get enough curve on it, but more likely I feel like they'd go for a crosser. What do you think?
I mean, you got to think, Jesse, this is pretty much a corner kick of essence. You just can play it in, curl it back, and try to get a header on the ball.
Number 10 setting up for the kick, and that's flying in. Oh, it almost deflected down, but 22 couldn't get his foot on it. It's cleared out. So dangerous for the Flyers, but we remain scoreless here at Skyline. 15 boots it back into the box, knocked out by Littman, and it's chased down by Dong. Pass back to Wally Lawrence. His pass misses. Dong taken back by 26. Framingham keeping up the offensive pressure against Brookline here early in the second half. Number 10 dribbling, pursued by Applebaum, gets a pass back to the Framingham end to number 3. That pass misses 19, knocked loose by Applebaum, but it goes out of bounds. It's going to be a Framingham throw in our little blind spot here. This throw in up to 26. Applebaum disrupts it, and Dong kicks it over to Lawrence. Lawrence trying to fend off the forward pressure, sends a long kick back to Smagula. Alex Smagula, the netminder, over to Littman. Now up to Nate Lockwood, who touches it out to the near side to Applebaum. Brookline now running up with it. Applebaum kicks it forward for Grady Ames. Ames turns around, tries a pass, misses. Kicked away by 4. Up to 10. 10 weaving across midfield. Looking, kicks it down the far side. Speicher couldn't get a foot on it. Flyers trying to work their way up. Speicher stands up. His man takes the ball and boots it upfield. nobody there, but it's just staying in bounds and rolling up the field.
They're just going to restart.
Number 4 with the ball. Pass across. Number 3, pass blocked by Friedman. Friedman taps it, aims, breakaway chance, shot saved by the keeper. A huge save from Framingham's number 0 between the pipes. Grady Ames had a breakaway chance. Looked like we were going to get the game's first goal, but he's walled off.
Jesse, that's the press I've been talking about. Brookline pressing up front. Grady Ames gets a great chance. He just can't finish. Saved by the keeper.
And now Framingham trying to replicate that with their own pressure. 10, a crosser, nobody there. It's kicked away by Fitzgerald and bounces out of bounds.
But that's what I was saying. The more Brookline gets upfield press, Framingham have struggled in their own half around midfield. It's been when they've had space, they've been dangerous.
Number 7 cutting around. Crosser flies over the bar and wide, out of bounds, goal kick.
And that crosser went around the bar, kind of. Framingham trying to make some magic happen, but Spagula's got it.
Goal kick just goes out to his center back, Jack Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald slides it across to the other center back, Jonah Lippman, as he slides it back to Smagula. Over to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald boots it across midfield, misses Ames. Chase it down. Friedman applying more forward pressure. And it deflects off Friedman's foot out of bounds. It'll be a Framingham throw-in. But Jacob Friedman, he's had a couple of nice moments of offensive pressure.
And that offensive pressure that the whole Brookline team has done really well. Jacob Friedman trying to get a slide tackle in. Then he didn't win that tackle. He gets the second one.
Throw in. Pass across. Not there. Applebaum takes what?
No whistle, but a stoppage in play. And it looks like Framingham ball.
Yeah, looks like.
Went too early or free kick.
And a free kick goes up to 22. Pass to the outside. And runs out of room on the far side, but knocked out by the Brookline defense. Another Framingham throw-in coming up.
It's Framingham, most of their guys forward now in the forward half, only 2 back.
Throw
behind
in.
the line.
Deflects out again. Flyers slowly moving their way into the Brookline end.
That's a lot of what they've done. They've just slowly gotten these throw-ins, moving their way, inching their way up.
This time inching their way back with these passes as it goes back to 26. 26, pass up the near side to 10. 10, tried to thread the needle, but nobody was there to receive it. It's taken by Lockwood. Lockwood boots it upfield and tapped away by 3, but Friedman staying after it. It's knocked back to 3. That pass blocked by Friedman, recovered by Ames. Ames couldn't get around 3. He stands him up and takes the ball away. Pass up to 10. 10 looking. Passes back to 26. 26 kicks it, intercepted by Dong. Dong dribbling up with it and gets tangled up with 26. And a little bit of chuckling between Dong and 26 as they got really tangled up there, and we're just trying to see which way they signaled the free kick. Looks like there's a bit of
like Framingham.
Indeed, but I thought I saw the far side official signal pointing in for a Brookline free kick. So now it's a conference between the officials to decide which way the free kick's going. The near side official overrules the far side one, says it's a Framingham free kick.
And it looked like Don got tangled up with a Framingham player. He got in behind him.
22, pass across. 19, dribbling up fast. Disrupted by Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald takes it away. Pass up, knocked away. And pass up the far sideline. Cutting towards the middle A pass to the middle, 22, cutting around, shot saved by Smagula.
Player down, Jeffrey Dong.
And several players and fans were shouting for that whistle there to allow Dong to go down and come out of the game. Looks like he's holding his hammy.
Hoping he's all right and isn't too badly hurt, because hamstrings can be tough.
Yeah, no. Fortunately, we are still in sort of that dog days of early fall kind of thing, where it's still warm enough that when you see a player go down holding some part of the leg, you're like, please be a cramp, please be a cramp. And that's still like a reasonable thought to have.
You definitely got to hope. So your Brookline starts it off at the bat.
Littman, pass across to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald pops it up in the air. Deflects towards the Framingham end. Ames chasing after it. Ames rushing in. Ames trying to get around. Crosser blocked by 4. They try and keep up the forward pressure, but it is popped out of the box. Number 22 controls it for Framingham. Pass to 5. 5 upfield, gets to 19. 19 dribbling up with it. Far side pass intercepted by Speicher. Ben Speicher racing upfield with it. He's got plenty of room to work. Still dribbling in. Speicher still going. Shoots! Saved! And almost a juicy rebound, but the goalie falls on it as Lawrence was crashing.
Goalie fumbled the ball for a moment. Ben Speicher ran it down the right side, uncontested, and into the box.
It's not often you see a wingback like Speicher be able to go that far, but Framingham just wasn't covering him at all, as Brookline had some numbers advantages there. Now Brookline trying another offensive push. This is Ames. Taps it back to Lockwood. Lockwood over to Applebaum. That one out near side for Lawrence. Lawrence battling with 10. 10 knocks it loose. Out of bounds. Lawrence thought it was out of bounds before he knocked it out, and it wasn't. And so Lawrence knocked it out. It is Framingham ball. Substitution coming in on both sides for Brookline. I think that's number 15, Santi Sierra, coming in replacing Koya Nicoli.
That is Santi Sierra. Looks like he's coming in for the first time.
Nope. He came in earlier in the first half. Meanwhile, we got number 20 coming in for Framingham, replacing number 3.
As Framingham starts up from the back now. It's the punt.
Yep, 26 boots it over the head, and Littman taps it back going the other way. 22 chase it down for the Flyers. Pass over to 5. 5 across to 11. 11 sends it up the far sideline. 15 battling with Speicher. Speicher knocks it out of bounds. That's going to be a Framingham throw-in deep in the Brookline end.
It's now Framingham. A real rainbow flick from the Framingham player.
Number 11 surrounded by defenders. Ball's knocked loose, and now we got a whistle. They call the foul on Framingham. Brookline setting up for the free kick. Booted up quickly off the head of 4, and back to the Brookline end as it's tapped to the middle for 22. 22 past 7, slipped and falled, and Applebaum boots it out of bounds. Framingham throwing. Number 20 throws it in. Oh, a throw-in violation. Rare you see one of those. And so Brookline gets a free possession here.
It's now Wally Lawrence to throw for Brookline.
As Danmarth Dovillier checks back into the game, replacing Jacob Friedman. Lawrence chucks it up the near side, going for Dovillier. Dovillier pops it, trying to pass it to himself, boxed out hard by 26. Dovillier tries to fight his way through, and they blow the whistle. That's going to be a foul on Dovillier. So tough when a defender's able to box you out like that. There's really no way to get around a man cleanly in that scenario. as Framingham working it on the counter, knocked out of bounds. Stays Framingham ball.
And a good ball from Wally Loris to Danmarth Dovillier. And Dovillier, that pass was just a long pass. Didn't need to do too much, and he nearly got a dangerous ball in there.
Number 20 dribbling up. Tries a shot. And that one was over the bar and over the outside of the net. It's not a goal.
Looked into me.
Oh, my gosh. It looked like it was going to be in, but that's the thing. A soccer net will trick you sometimes, where it'll look like it, you're looking for it to tickle the twine. You're looking for the net to move to represent that it went in the net. But with a soccer net, it'll make a similar kind of movement, the net will, if it hits the outside of the net as if it hits the inside. And so you can easily be tricked into thinking it goes in when it doesn't.
Also, the way the net is structured, it comes down. It went just over, so it looked like it curled into the top left corner there, but it did not. Looked like to me.
A very dangerous chance, but Framingham ultimately unable to score on that. They're going to try this time here. 10 tries a crosser, kicked away by Littman. Recovered by 26. 26 disrupted through midfield by Kai Putney. And he recovers, passes out far side. That kick blocked. Number 15 trying to boot it forward, but Ames said no. And it'll be a throw-in for Framingham.
As Ames with the good press there.
And
battle for it now.
Tap to the middle, up to Lawrence. Lawrence still battling. And it's taken away by 19 out of the scrum. Trying to dribble around. Gets tangled up with Lawrence, and they're going to blow that whistle against Lawrence. And this will be a straight-on free kick for Framingham. They might just go for a shot here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Jesse. This is a situation where you can take a long shot, and it can possibly go and just give it your all, and it's got a chance. They're moving the ball up a little bit closer.
A little bit closer. That could potentially make it tougher because you have to lift the ball to get it over the wall of defenders that your opponent's going to set up in a free kick like this. And so having less space to, apply that rainbow curve to the shot can make things tougher.
Also, you can try to get around the wall.
Number 26 setting up to kick this one.
Spagula arranges the wall.
There's the whistle. There's the kick. Over the bar.
And that one just went over the bar. It was curling down, curved right after it went over. Another near chance for Framingham.
And instead, it will be a goal kick for Smagula. As Brookline's going to try and flip the field here. This one towards midfield. Deflects down towards number 20. 20 controls it. Pass across all the way over to the far side to 11. 11 sends it forward for 7, who taps it up in the air off a weird bounce and knocked out of bounds by, I believe, Speicher. And it'll stay Framingham ball. Throw in deep in Brookline territory.
Well, ever since Jacob Freeman has come out, Framingham done much better in midfield, and that's correlated to much more chances.
This one tapped forward for Dovillier. Dovillier taking off with it. Bit of a rush here. Dovillier trying to get around the defender himself. Dovillier battling with 4, stops, looks, taps back, missed it, but it's knocked out of bounds by Framingham. This will be a corner.
Dovillier was looking to get it to Ames across the middle, but 2 defenders were on it before Ames could get it just a little bit ahead. But regardless, a corner kick for Brookline.
We've seen a few corner kicks on both sides. I think the scariest chance we saw was in the first half, one of Framingham's corner kicks. Or actually, no, it was early in this half because it dropped right at the feet of 22 over on our right. But outside of that, a lot of chances that haven't generated much. This kick flies in from Nicoli off a foot and chased down by Framingham. They clear it out. And now it's intercepted by Spicer up to Lockwood. Brookline trying to move it up, but stolen away by 19. He taps it forward for 7. 7, since a long leading kick blocked by Littman. Big stop there. And 7 tries a pass, intercepted by Spicer, blocked down by 19. Now Littman pass forward, and it's knocked away by 26.
And Littman, he was looking for number 10, but the Brookline defense was able to close out before it got to him. So he was running down the right middle part of the field, number 10 was.
And we got this is actually a Brookline throw in. There was miscommunication there. As a couple of subs, or I think at least one sub comes in for Brookline. That's number 18, Josh Bittner. This kick forward disrupted by 5, but recovered by Dong. Dong taps it for Sierra. Sierra pass for Lockwood. A little surprised to get that pass, and now 22 steals it from behind. 22 rushing with it. Pass for an open 7. 7. Oh, cut off by Jack Fitzgerald. What a day he's had on defense. Number 7 does get the favorable deflection. It will be a throw-in for Framingham deep in the Brookline end.
Jesse, Jack Fitzgerald coming up big yet again. As you've said, he's been so great on defense, saving a bunch of goals. He's been really the last line of defense a lot of times for the Warriors, and he's came through.
Throw in down to the baseline to 7, up to 20. 20's kick blocked by Bittner. That'll be a corner for Framingham.
As 20 was trying to play it, a middle cross clipped into the box, a curling ball, and get somebody's foot onto it, but Bittner in the way of that one.
Number 10 setting up to send in the corner for the Flyers.
As Framingham pulls out most of their guys. 2 strikers up for the Flyers.
Oh, looks like it's going to be number 21, not number 10, sending this kick in. Both teams still looking for the first score of the game. It's all goose eggs on the scoreboard for now here in the second half.
Both teams have a bunch of corners.
We got a
whistle blown.
We got a whistle blown. Ugh.
You're gonna redo.
Boy, that you know what? If there's ever a time for my voice to go for 2 seconds, it's on a play that didn't count.
Perfect timing.
Number 21 sets up again. Boots it, and it's knocked out of the box. 20 pass it back out to 21, tries another crosser to the box. Knocked down briefly by 31, but now tapped away by Applebaum. Bittner pushes it forward, but right to 26. 26 sends it back up to 21. His pass intercepted by Littman, and Littman forced to kick it out of bounds.
Now Framingham, they've had the majority of possession in the second half. Now Framingham's definitely had some type of speech at halftime.
Now a chance for Dauvilliers as he cuts around one. Dauvilliers off and running with it, and he kicks it. It's off the body of 4, and there's a chase down for the ball as it's knocked out the back end, and I believe that's going to be another corner.
Dan-Marc Dauvilliers with a dribble move got around a man, but the Framingham Flyers defense closes out. Corner for Brookline. Both these teams have had a lot of corners. Framingham has had the bulk of the possession in the final third and in Brookline territory here in the second half. But again, as we've been talking about, it's been going back and forth between these two teams and still 0-0.
Spicer boots it in. It's coming in really high, all the way to the back end. Bittner couldn't get a head on it, and it's kicked away by Framingham. Goes up to number 22 on the far side. 22, looking around, gets a pass, threads the needle through the defenders, gets it up to 5. 5's pass up to 21. 21 surveying his options, cutting across the midfield. Pass out far side. This is 11. Kicked away by Bittner. Knocked back by 26. Out to 22, far side. Spins off Dong. Now going across towards the middle. Pass it. Near side to 20. 20. Looking. Pass forward to 5. 5 moving towards the near side corner. His pass goes off the body of his teammate, number 31. And now 31 blocks this kick attempt by Littman. That's going to fly out of bounds. Now the question is that a throw-in or a goal kick? It's a goal kick.
A goal kick. Framingham, they've been able to work it up the right side of Brookline, similar to how Brookline was on the left side of Framingham in the first half.
Got a couple subs checking in for Brookline. Number 11, Koya Nicoli back into the game, and coming in for the first time, number 13, Julian Weil.
Julian Weil, the sophomore.
Goal kick goes to Fitzgerald, who boots it upfield. 26 trying to collect it. He couldn't, and a nice foul draw by Weil just after coming in off the bench. Brookline will get a free kick here.
Julian Weil getting teamed up with number 26, Brookline, quick free kick.
This free kick flies towards the box, deflects, controlled. Bittner tries to tap one over to Nicoli. Nicoli trying to muscle his way through. No angle, has to pass it back. Bittner again. Bittner weaving, looking, trying to fight his way through. It's knocked loose.
Bittner went down the box.
No foul, but it's going to be another corner kick as that went out the back end.
Brookline's had the majority of the corner kicks in this game. Both teams have had quite a few, but more for Brookline.
Number 19, Travis Applebaum, setting up to kick this one instead of Speicher. Line drive in, almost a chance, but it deflects out of the box, recovered by Applebaum. Applebaum dribbling, Applebaum cutting across, lifts one over the head of his teammates, and it's taken off the hop by the keeper, who quickly rolls it upfield as Framingham tries to move on the counter. 22, pass up far side. 11, cutting towards the middle, pass across to 21. 21, kick, and it flies across to 31. 31, shot, sails it. Another big chance for the Framingham offense, but they cannot connect on it.
And Framingham, again, they're weaving their way back and forth as 31 had a pretty clean shot. Open on the left side. They were working it from the right, and he just hits it over. But the strategy, definitely, Framingham's done a better job implementing it in the second half.
Littman's pass, mistake there. 21 intercepts, pass to an open 31. 31 looking for a crossing angle, sends one across, kicked away by Bittner. Now scrum for the ball. 26 does get the pass out to 11. 11 stolen, pocket picked by Speicher. Speicher pass to the middle, gets away from Dong, slides in, disrupts it, it deflects out to Nicoli. Nicoli back to Applebaum. Applebaum upfield. Dovillier couldn't stay with it. Knocked away by 20. 20 kicks it upfield. Walled down by Applebaum. Applebaum up for Nicoli. Nicoli looking around. Now passes. Ames dribbling. Fakes out one. Steps in. Shot. Launches it high.
Brady Ames blasting it from outside the box a little bit high. And Brookline's had quite a bit of those. They've been taking a lot of shots from outside of the box. A bunch of them have just been sailing. It's Framingham, when they've been compact, even when Framingham hasn't been present, they've been very compact with their defense, not giving up any shots inside the penalty box.
Now the goal kick off the head of 31, kicked back by Littman. Deflects down, Dong taps it back. Now popped back up by Speicher. Dong trying to battle for it again against 31. They get tangled up along the far sideline, and it rolls out of bounds, Framingham ball.
Now Framingham
with the throw in, deflects forward, a chance for 22. Lost out of bounds.
Goes out a whistle now.
And it's going to be Brookline ball.
Brookline ball now as the Warriors can't get it to their man. They're playing a bunch of guys deep, but a short throw didn't work there.
But it is still Brookline ball as they slowly move it upfield.
That's what Framingham was doing earlier in this second half. Framingham, the Flyers, and in that late first, they were moving slowly but surely up the field. Next thing you know, they're in the final third.
Framingham taking the ball away. Battling through the midfield. Some nice dribbling by 11. 11 sending a leading kick, but Fitzgerald, Brookline's last line all day. Oh, an interception by 21. Bad kick by Smagula. Pass across. 11 juking around, looking, passing. 21 wide open shot. Missed it wide. Did Smagula redirect that one? Yes, he did. They're going to get a corner kick, but what a stop by Alex Smagula.
A sprawling save from Alex Smagula. Diving out to his right, saved the goal, possibly saved the game, and he makes up for his own mistake.
I was just about to say, it kind of saved himself there after an errant pass was intercepted by Framingham, gave them a golden chance, but nice diving save, but now a corner for Framingham flies in and cut out of the air by Smagula. Punts this one away. Headed forward, hard collision, and 15 recovers the ball. 15 trying to cut up field. Now it's taken by 22. 22 looking around, has to pass back, and Dong cuts in, trying to take it away, but still battling along the far sideline. 11 takes it back for Framingham. Trying to gain the edge here.
He's working around well.
And it's out of bounds, and he gets the favorable deflection. That'll be another corner kick. You mentioned this in the first half, Sam. What a threat 11 has been in the transition game for Framingham. His ability to move the ball upfield has been so big for the Flyers.
Well, definitely, Jesse. When Brookline hasn't been pressing up 11, he's been doing well through the center, and you saw on the left side there, nobody could stop him.
This one bouncing dangerously off the head of 7. He couldn't get enough force on it, and it's caught like a pop fly by Smagula. Punts this one out near side. Ames keeping it in bounds, cutting towards the middle. Now taking off forward. Pass, not enough on it, intercepted by 20. 20 kicks it, deflected by Dauvilliers. 10 downs it for Framingham. Dribbling back, has to pass it back to 4. 4 boots it upfield for 22. Deflects up to 11. 11 weaving around again. 11 so strong on the transition again. Passes forward. 19 turns, shoots. Nice catch by Smagula and good efforts by Applebaum to keep his man in front of him and limit his shooting options.
Well, on a lot of these saves, Smagula, he's had really sure hands. He's been able to corral it without even parrying it away. But number 11, as you were saying, Jesse, he just went unnoticed. It almost seemed through the middle of the field there.
19 passes out far side to 15. 15 trying to race up the sideline. It's knocked out of bounds. Framingham ball. Now again, no scoreboard clock here, so the only thing that'll let us know when the game ends is the triple whistle from the official. Framingham trying to rush up with it. Nice deflection there by Littman. Cleared out, but taken by 22. Pass to 19. Near side goes to 10. 10. Looking. Couple of fakes. Now sends in a crosser. Oh, that one deflected wide. Fitzgerald in coverage as they tried to go to, I'm trying to see the number 5.
Number 10 put that one in a super dangerous area. Number 5 lunging for it, just couldn't get it as it deflects out, and he couldn't parry it on goal.
Now it'll be a goal kick for Smagula. Pass over to Littman. Littman up the middle. Nicoli. Lost out of bounds.
Framingham started to have really good success pressing up Brookline throw here.
Applebaum throws it for Friedman. Bouncing along. Friedman lost his footing, and 4 kicks that one up to 22. 22. Turning around pass intercepted. Off and running with it is Lockwood. Lockwood pass over to Ames. Ames dribbling in. Pass. Lockwood deflects. Friedman shot saved. Friedman shot again. Score! Jacob Friedman breaks up the scoreless tie for Brookline.
Jacob Friedman, he blasted home, missed the first chance, got the second chance, and now Brookline takes the lead after a seesawing game it's been throughout this half and the first half. The whole team now running over to the right side together.
Great movement up the field by Nate Lockwood and Grady Ames to get that one started, and good relentless pursuit by Jacob Friedman, like you said, Sam, to just keep after that ball. And you mentioned how Smagula's been getting his hands around the ball, and that's exactly what the Framingham keeper wasn't able to do in that scenario, and Friedman made him pay. Friedman trying to attack again, but this time the deflection off his slide tackle too far out in front. He was getting everyone excited. They were like, oh, is he going to score twice in like 5 seconds? But not quite that time. Nicoli boots it upfield. Friedman keeping up the offensive pursuit, not satisfied with his one goal, but also not getting the foul call on that tumble there.
Well, Jesse, when Jacob Friedman's been in the game, there's been a noticeable difference in how Brookline has played. He's been the relentless pursuit that you've been talking about on offense and on defensive factors. Whistle blown here.
Yep, they call a push in the back on Framingham on that one. Hey, don't give me too much credit. The first guy to talk about that forward pressure and the difference it makes was you, my friend. So that was a really good observation. And like you said, Friedman, he's been relentless on it.
There's been no stopping him.
Big kick up by Applebaum, deflected down. And number 22 passes out, far side. Number 11 pass through, intercepted, Lockwood again. Deflected away from him, though, and now 22 off and running with it, passes up. Number 10 looking for a chance, pass for 11. 11 tries a crosser, but too much traffic now, and it's kicked away by Lockwood. And Nate Lockwood has had a number of nice transition breakups these past couple of minutes, including the one that started that scoring play for Brookline.
Lockwood, the captain, one of the unsung heroes. You got to think of this game. Jacob Friedman, he's played great, but Nate Lockwood's been really solid on defense. Him.
And in the midfield, really.
Yeah, and in the midfield, he's just had a major impact.
Now Lawrence fighting for the ball. He gets it. Trying to pass it to himself, and he somehow comes through with that ball. Pass to Lockwood, give and go to Lawrence. Lawrence again collides with a defender, and I think they're going to call a foul on Lawrence. And, I mean, it's the simple rule of full arm extension. Or
no, it looked like the Framingham guy slid into Wally Lawrence. He just got pushed over.
Nicoli over to Ames. Ames forcing his way through, but ran out of room as that ball rolled too far out in front of him. The keeper takes it.
Ames trying to weave his way through the defense.
Now a couple passes, goes up to 5. 5's pass far side for 11. 11's been such a threat for Framingham, and he turns on the Jets again. Pass blocked by Fitzgerald. Bouncing along. Ames knocks it loose, but it's going to roll out of bounds on the near side over in our blind spot. It'll be Framingham ball.
Framingham resets.
Oh, Framingham threw it in backwards. That's what happened. Now a quick kick up, intercepted by Littman. Taps it over for Applebaum. Back to Littman. Kick blocked by number 7. Booted back by Applebaum. Now down by 26. Dong applying some forward pressure. 26 again, a strong box out job. Passes it out to 20. Kicks it towards the middle. Off the head of Fitzgerald. Off the head of Friedman. Straight up in the air. Off his head again. And it's Dong who controls it. Dong looking around. And 22 takes it away. Pass to the middle for 4. 4 up to 5. 5 stopped by Lockwood, but he battles through him. Gets a pass up to 10. 10 dribbling up, looking, stopping, passing for 7. 7 holding it. Try to kick, blocked by Applebaum, and taken off the bounce by Smagula.
Brookline, ever since that goal from Jacob Friedman, on defense, in transition, they've been getting way more compact, playing in their own box. Framingham has a little bit more room to run.
And they call Dong for grabbing the shoulders on 26 there. And they play through the free ball there as 7 deflects it back to 20. And now 19 pops it up in the air for 10. Heads back to 22. 22 pass outside to 11. And battling on the far side as Lawrence clears it away. Interestingly enough, I think Framingham wanted some kind of violation called on Brookline because the free kick, as rushed as it was, went off the back of the foot of Koya Nicoli, but Nicoli wasn't even looking at it, so I don't think they were going to get too much of a violation there as Smagula dives on that one before number 10 can rush in and take it.
Smagula, he's had a great game. He's made a couple great saves, and he's been a really sound. He's had a really sound game. Think about Smagula. No second chance opportunities for Framingham.
This one kicked forward and racing in for a 22. Shot is in. Number 22 ties it up for Framingham, and we're even at 1 apiece.
Number 22 hits it into the right side. Maybe announcer jinx on my part as he blasted across the ground. And Spagula stretching out for it, just can't get to it.
Yep, and 22 really took off like a rocket once that loose ball bounced past the Brookline defenders, and no one was able to rush to get to it, and 22 took advantage. And the fabric of the game changes right back to what it was before Friedman's goal as we are back at an even score. Off the head of Lockwood there, and a hard collision at the ball, and Applebaum kicks it upfield, stays in bounds. 26 boots it back. 19 deflects it back to 10. Pass out to 11. 11 trying to fight his way through. And there is the triple whistle. And that is how the game will end. And you can see some of the frustration on the Brookline players' faces. They know just how close they were to getting their first win of the year. And thanks to that last-minute goal by number 22, it ends up being a tie. The final score here at Skyline Park, Brookline 1, Framingham 1.
Framingham getting that goal just a few minutes left. Brookline oh so close, but it's been a really good, positive performance for them. I think they can Brookline can definitely look at this game and look what worked, what didn't work, what could we improve on, and I think this is definitely a game to build on early in the season.
So Brookline's record moves to 0-4-2. Framingham's record moves to 2-2-3. And that's about going to do it for this one. Jacob Friedman scored the lone goal for Brookline. Number 22 of Framingham scored their lone goal in stoppage time to finish it in a tie. And Sam, thank you so much for joining me on this broadcast once again. Happy to have you back.
And thank you so much. Thanks so much for having me on, Jesse. This was a great game between Brookline and Framingham. Shame Brookline couldn't edge this one out, but a great 1-1 draw. Good goal from Jacob Freeman. It was a fun game out here.
Absolutely. All right, well, that is going to do it for this one. Once again, thank you to Esh Dental for sponsoring this broadcast. Esh Dental located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent, Dr. Brandon Esh, for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eshdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com. All that down in the description section down below, as is the link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club if you would like to support the Brookline High Soccer Program, boys and girls, varsity, JV, and freshmen. And then also down in the description section, you can find the link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Food Pantry, if you would like to show them your support. Also down in the description section, as well as in the bottom right corner of your screen, you can find some links pertaining to me, my personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or if you want to skip past all that, you can email me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And remember to follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook, where I post highlights from previous live streams and the links to upcoming live streams. But for this live stream, that's going to do it. One last note. We got a note in the live chat from Kenneth Spicer saying thanks for the broadcast. My pleasure, Ken. Always a pleasure to come out here and cover it. But for this one, that's going to do it. Final score, Brookline 1, Framingham 1. From Skyline Park in Brookline, Massachusetts, alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.